Standard nobody.
Nah,
You don't
dog.
see me in the weeds.
You in the main? You ain't in the main cast.
Nah, I'm just your main side character. That's all.
My main side character.
Yeah, that's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I am your host, Sinji. With me, my co-host, as always, Bay.
What up?
What's up, Irby? How you doing, brother?
Chilling on this glorious day.
How glorious? How glorious could this day possibly be?
I woke up on the right side of the dirt, so it's glorious.
Aren't your skies a little gray, dog?
Nah, it's bright and blue now. Calm after the storm.
I think mine's a gray as shit.
Yeah, it's blue. I was like, I'm finna go take my doggy for a walk after this.
Yeah, I just looked in my window. It looks pretty, not like dark, but it don't look like
Bleak.
the sun out there.
Yeah, the sun's out. It's nice and cool too. I was like, okay, say
Okay,
less.
so Irby,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a flavor this week?
I do. I have a few things.
Ooh, a
Uh,
few.
yeah, a few things that made consideration. First was when Cosette made a joke. I was like, oh, look at her making a joke. She was like, just kidding. I was like, oh, you go, girl. You crazy. But that's okay.
And the
Yeah.
second.
Nah, that's it. Just for the
Oh, that's
one.
it.
I'd like to mention them when they come up
Okay,
later.
okay. Um, if I have anything that resembles a flavor, it'd just be the way Gray Yon is fighting this guy right now in chapter 209 of Weak Hero. My man
This
looking a
thing's
little
still going
demonic.
on. Mm,
He's finally seen some
demonic.
action. It's been a while, and
It's like me.
I'm all for seeing my man beat some ass.
Mm,
Now, Irby, if you
see.
would like, and we're gonna briefly discuss. Well, we'll do them in order. We'll do them in order. We've already mentioned some, but we haven't actually discussed or rated them. So, what I'd like to do is the classroom of the elite quotes. After we read them, to rate them on how good we think they are, and if you want or I want, discuss it a little. If it just is that interesting, but I don't foresee that happening with a lot of them. But some of those are bangers, so I wouldn't mind rating them.
Mm,
All right, so season one, episode one's quote was, "What is evil? Whatever springs from weakness."
maybe like a 5.
Yeah, that one was just like sometimes weakness can spring strength.
I don't know about that. This ain't no Jin Sung Woo you talking about here.
Hey man, you don't talk bad about Jin Sung Woo.
I wasn't. I was just saying. There ain't no Jin Sung Woo here.
That man is blessed by
Yeah,
good
he
fortune.
was. And could have had 6 other people that got blessed too, but they chickened out.
Hey, gotta weed out the
But
weak.
it'd be like that though.
No, two of them didn't chicken out. He told two of them to go.
Yeah, he did.
My man wasn't gonna get anywhere anyway.
Yeah. But they could have stayed.
They could have. They could have just all died together. But then
Sure
he'd
could
be
have.
alive and they wouldn't be.
No, I think they all would have been alive. Would have gave a choice. But
Perhaps.
it might have been like, hey, you guys can go ahead and pick what skills you want if you want to be a player or not. Point 0.2 seconds. So remaining time 0, balance 0. You know,
Time
but
now
yeah,
moving
I
normal.
yeah keep on going. All right, next quote. Hit me with it.
No, that was it. One quote a day, or
Oh,
one quote a episode.
well, dang.
We got about
Hmm.
how many episodes were in the first season? 12, and it looks like this season it might stop on 13. So
Yeah, I think he's done with 13.
yeah, so
It says something about next third season, so I don't know when that's coming back. But hey,
we got 24 episodes before we can discuss this. Or we can do it another way. It's up to you.
don't mind me none. That's your brainchild,
Yeah, it's not like we got much to discuss today.
child brain. So I got stuff to discuss. Discuss this.
Brainchild, child brain.
Yeah, all about flipping the floppies, flopping the flips.
Hippity toppities.
No, none of that.
None of that.
No,
All
not
right,
today.
we'll bang out two. We'll do two. It'll get done quicker. Season 1, episode 2. It takes a great talent and skill to conceal one's talent and skill.
I get like a solid 7, 6, 7. Yeah, because
I think I agree with that.
yeah, because I remember growing up. In order for me to get my sister to continue playing with me, I had to skillfully lose lives, but still beat her so she could keep playing. So she didn't catch on for a few years, but then like she was like, "You jumping out on purpose, or you could have made it back." I was like, "Could I? I don't know."
What was it,
But
Smash
yeah,
Brothers?
yeah,
Sounded like it.
yeah. So it's yeah. So she won't admit it now, but yeah, that's why you had to do, or like I had to lose close so she would continue to play. It's an art form.
In a way, that was fun.
Yeah. But then she realized I was doing it, so then she just set the handicap up super high, and then she'd have 10 lives and I'd have 5. So, so then, yeah, I became more skillful then. But
It's like
yeah,
good luck. Good luck making this close.
yeah, but I still won. So
Damn.
then she just stopped playing with me in general.
Damn.
But yeah, all right, continue, sir. Where are we going next on the ship?
Um, wherever you want to go, homie.
Mm, let's see. Where would one want to go?
Wherever you would like to go.
Yeah, I felt like we had a whole bunch of no, that was just the one. Yeah. 2 shows ended, I think, this week. Uh let's kick it off with some tots. Going
Talks
to
OP. Episode
yeah.
6, Sunrise Rooster. Now, how'd you feel about this episode?
It's an interesting one. I feel like people were seeing ghosts, things that weren't there appeared and maybe provided a little bit of insight, but not too much insight. But yeah, I do feel like Cosette's she's coming along. She's developing character.
Mm-hmm. I
So
thought at first, Doug, when okay, so we ended up in this town with old people, and the crew kind of have their own separate journeys. Anna and Cassette slash Destiny have their own episode, and Tact has his own episode. On the Anna and Destiny side, when they first came across that lady who called Anna her daughter, I
yeah,
thought she was talking about Cassette, and I was like, oh, hope her daughter didn't turn into a music cart.
maybe, maybe not. But yeah, but a little bit before that, when they were talking about was the area safe? My flavor when with Cosette's like, I don't sense you need D2s. I could bring some of the D2s to fight. And she's like, just kidding.
I know all you care about is music.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at her making a joke. Made me laugh. And so, yeah, I thought it was a nice, touching, funny moment. And the dry humor she did, I was like, yeah, that's my kind of humor. Yeah. So that made me laugh, chuckle a little bit on the inside,
I'm glad
warmed
they
up my
didn't give
circuits.
Tact any alcohol in that bar.
Why?
He's young, dog. I think he's too young.
I think that man like 19, bro.
You think so?
Yeah. I think you gotta be like 14 to drink sake or something. I don't know. No, they're in America. Yeah.
They are.
So nah, yeah, he too young.
He
Yeah.
yeah, it's an anime about an American.
Yeah, I just thought about it. Yeah. So wait, they were going to Las Vegas, Nevada. No, yeah. Yeah, he's too young. That's good. Well, I don't know. I think they back then I guess the legal drinking age used to be like 19 or something, and they raised it up to 21.
Well, isn't this the future?
Yeah, but I was thinking like if he's born in a different time, he probably could have drink there.
Perhaps.
But yeah, I have to look that up.
We'll come to the we'll get to the bottom of this.
Maybe there's nothing to get to.
Oh, then we won't get to the bottom of this.
Shoot. Well, yeah, continue.
Um. So yeah, Anna and Cassette spent their day with the lady who was just missing her daughter, and her daughter died. And Tact spent his day playing the piano for a bunch of old people who miss music.
Yeah.
Well, they don't
I
really
think
miss
there's
it; they listen to it every day.
yeah. I think there's more to it though, than just old people that miss music per se.
Care to
Um,
elaborate?
it was more so they initially like there was the famous conductor that they all like was actually Tut's father,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of just didn't
I
he
say
didn't
Eno, I think.
yeah I see he didn't admit that he was like or he didn't say that it was his father he because he still thought a lot of people harbored resentment towards him for some reason, but everyone there loved him and
Especially the black
it,
guy who played with him.
yeah they're like oh I loved it and this, that, and the other. And so I think they were more excited that they had someone of his ability to play.
Hmm. Now, the guy we meet at the end seems like he wants to recruit Tact, whereas the guy who belongs to the music art that reported about Tact seems like he's ready to get rid of him. So there might be some internal conflict amongst the
Yeah.
conductors.
Yeah. One of them's happy that the son of the rooster is alive. And so I was like, huh, that's cool. And then another little funny scene I like too was when Cassette wants to try hammering and she like blasts a hole in the
Bro, I
lady's
saw that
house.
coming a mile away.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh,
Uh,
she gonna bust it.
yeah. So and Cosette, she likes the cat now. I'm like, oh, she can like things and do things. She's not just a music art.
Yeah, she's also like dissecting. She was dissecting that lemon cake. She's
She
like, it
was.
has a bit of sourness that impacts the sweet or something like that, and I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, she
And then
it was good.
towards the end, she's like, I will do the best I can to save you some
Yeah,
apple jam. She's gonna eat it all.
yeah, she's definitely developing her personality. Also, when she was speaking with that old lady, I did like how she was. The old lady was like, "Yeah, beat him up." It's like, don't ever come back. You hear? And she's like, "Don't ever come back. You hear?" And did you notice how like her nose took up like more than half her face in like the one scene when she was talking?
Who cassettes? No,
No, no, the old lady.
no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I was like, her nose is like real big. I was like, what? Cause like literally, she got rid of her eyes. She just had like a big old nose in the middle of her face. It's like really. So, but yeah,
Shit, I'll tell
that's
you what I
first.
did notice. I noticed the production drop in Black Summoner.
Did it drop? Cause I feel like it got better with the fight.
Nah, the fight was definitely in that doll looking form.
And then it looked like the bad as the first fight.
No, yeah, maybe because like they weren't fighting in the first fight, so there was a lot more scenery to like mask it. It was a little more fast paced.
Yeah, I feel like it did better with the fight, but that's just me. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, I was like, oh, they got budget increase for the fight. So, but yeah, so Black Summoner, episode 12, another reincarnated. So basically, this one starts out with Clive trying to charm Ethel. This is another thing I liked. And it's kind of cliche and cheesy. And he's like, "You better not lay a hand on my woman."
I thought she was gonna react to that right away. I was like, oh, my man declared FL has his woman.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, this woman, or might be like maybe person in my party type deal, you know,
Hey, could have been, but I don't think so.
like a woman of mine." Because someone could be a woman but not be your woman.
Again, could have been, but I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's just a one-way street. But yeah, so then we find out that Clive is actually a reincarnated person
And a
that
perv.
chooses, yeah, that just chooses to womanize women and control them to his whims. I'm like, oh man, this guy, get a load of this guy.
Yeah, honestly, this was actually a great setup because they made him out to be like within the beginning of this episode and the end of last episode, they made Clive out to be like this fucking badass that's probably gonna be a problem. And then they used him to create an even bigger problem.
Yeah, it's a nice setup. Yeah, I was like, oh man, he's terrible. I don't like him at all. And so then they get the fighting. He blew Clive away with an attack, and then Clive ended up deflecting it. Um, and this was another thing I liked. This is very This right here. I'm the main character, and you are just a nobody.
Like, ooh, famous last words.
Yeah, it's because you like calling people side characters.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Nah, I wouldn't do that.
You did. You called what's his name Chad side character, or
Chad?
someone would. You called someone a side character one time.
Oh, yeah, there's a few side characters I know.
See, exactly.
Hey, man, every person needs side characters in their life.
Shoot,
Or should I say, every person has side characters in their life?
shoot. I'm just a standard nobody.
No,
You don't
dog,
see me in the weeds.
you ain't the main cast.
No, I'm just your main side character. That's all.
My main side character.
Yeah, that's all.
I think I just
Yeah,
found a clip for this episode.
shoot. All right, so then they get to fighting again, and he finds out that the women that's fighting are just people Clive enchanted, and he's like, no, they want to be this for me. I'm like, if they did, you wouldn't have to enchant them. Just silly trick. But but yeah, so then it's 501, but my man Kelvin makes some golems to fight the Charn people. Yeah, so then they're fighting and they're fighting again. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's kung fu
Foo
fighting.
fighting.
Yeah. And then this is why I made the note that it looks like the battle budget got increased a little bit. Cause I was like, okay, this isn't as funny looking as the last time they fought early.
See, and I made the comment, it's a good fight, but I don't think too much budget went into it. So it's completely
Mm.
opposite reactions to that animation.
Yeah, because I'm still thinking about the first time when I was like, "Ooh, this is terrible looking," with the fight and the distortion. I'm like, "Oh man, oh geez." But yeah, it looked good. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Can't complain about it. So and so then this is another turning point that happened here. Clive, he was shooting at Kelvin when he's flying through the air, and he was hitting his people. And Kelvin was like, "Hey, you're hitting your own people." He's like, "Psh, I don't care. I got spares." I'm like, "Oh
Damn.
wow."
He did though. He did have spares. There was hella women in that room.
Yeah, so then he just that's when Kelvin stopped fighting, stops running, and just floats there. And Kelvin does his whole monologue. And then another notable thing that I liked right here was like, if you only care about yourself, then and you don't care about others, then you are pathetic, ugly, and nothing else.
Man was heated after that.
He was. I mean, it makes sense because you have all this power and you're not taking no responsibility for it. Like you're out here just like, oh, there's more. And it's kind of like essentially when people get way more to eat at a buffet than they normally would have because it's a buffet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not being responsible. And I'm like, yeah, that's terrible. Like you don't even care about your own comrades. How could you? So
Well, it might be fair to say they were never actually his comrades because he charmed them all.
yeah. So I mean, still, if I got something, um, I would cherish it, or I wouldn't. I would do my best to keep it from being harmed. So, but that's just me.
That's just you.
Yeah,
That's definitely not him.
yeah. I'm not full villain.
You kind of villainy.
No, I'll never be as villainous as you.
I don't know, man. You came pretty close. Episode 80.
Nah, that was just to stop deaths. I hate seeing people die, but
Shoot.
still, yeah. So then they do a whole little sword class, and he damages his face. He's like, "Oh," Clyde's face is like, "Oh, my face! You made me my face." And then so he does a S rank Tempest barrier, and Kelvin gets close though to give him his special scythe, which staff, which he turns into a magical scythe, and he she's a slash through the barrier, chopped up old boy's legs,
Which
and
was an accident. He meant to kill him. Which,
yeah,
by the way, Calvin had no problems killing that man.
I wouldn't have no problem killing me if I was Kelvin.
Nah, you over here trying to preserve lives, dog.
No, I said, did you? The prerequisite I said was if I was Kelvin. So yeah, nah, he deserved to be under the jail.
Under the jail.
Yeah, he don't belong in jail. He belong under the jail. So chopped him up, and he's going in for the finishing blow. And Tristan teleports in and saves old boy Clive. And this is when they proceed to talk and tell things. And I'm like, oh, he wants to kill him, but he can't because he just teleported on away.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really fast, too.
he did. So then we get back to the town, and Ethel's talking to Gerard, and he's giving her grief about, oh, let's keep your hands off my woman. And she's like, oh, I like what Master said. And then Master came in, like, oh, what did I say? And she proceeds to just break down and flush it all about what Kelvin just said. And
Now,
then the rest of
now the real story in this scene is little Rion and Alex.
yeah. So they were racing. Like the rest of the summons were racing to Gerard because whoever got to him first would be able to be praised by Master.
Mm-hmm.
And she created a spell attack on the fly and like kind of lightning teleported straight to him.
Yeah, she over here Minato.
Yeah, I was like,
Activated her
oh,
inner Minato.
yeah, I was like, oh, look at her. So she got there pretty quick. And then they proceed to throw a banquet for the stuff. But we also flash back to Tristan's lab, and Clive is tied up, and he's getting stabbed by the women he charmed with a bunch of cursed weapons so they can see what happens to him. He's running tests. on Clive because Triss is like, oh, he's a reincarnate. Perfect run test. It's like, huh. I was like, poetic justice, him being tortured. Yeah. And so banquet time, they're all laughing and drinking, having a merry old time. And Kelvin's sitting up on the hill by himself, and Ethel comes to talk to him, and they get to talking, and then he has a flashback about not wanting regrets. I was like, huh, maybe there's something in his past life he wanted to forget, or something that he wanted to avoid but couldn't.
Yeah, man. You saw that too, right? I was
Yep.
like, the word regret definitely triggered something about his past.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was like maybe he wasn't adventurous or outgoing enough, or maybe he failed to protect somebody, or he might just had trouble making friends. And so I don't know. But I was like, oh, regret. And it's like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah. And then F was like, I want to be with you forever. I was like, oh, look at her.
Making her move.
And then so the Beast King was, well, we don't know it's the Beast King until he tells us, but a young girl runs up and is like, oh, thank you for saving us, Kelvin, this and the other. And he's like, oh, you're welcome, I guess, or something. And the Beast King's like, oh, he passed the test. It's enough of the charade now. And I was like, oh. And they're like, oh, you're a girl, little girl? And he's like, no, I just have an island that makes me look like this. And I was like, ha, that's funny.
Freaking troll the
Yeah.
king.
Yeah.
But
So,
what really got Kelvin's attention was the festival he mentioned.
yeah. So there's going to be a mock battle where you have to do other S ranks so they really want to welcome in Kelvin. And I'm like, oh, this battle junkie. And he starts getting his little Sinji grin going on. I'm like, oh man,
I don't have a
here we
grin.
go again.
I think I have a resting bitch face.
Nah, you'd be like, I gotta get my villainy tendencies on. So yeah, my man's hyped up. He can't wait. And this is when I think the season ends.
I
So
think the
I'm like,
season's over. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, huh.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think it's over with.
Because I don't recall an episode coming out last week.
Yeah, cause I thought there was supposed to have been two, and then I was like, oh, there's not two, there's only one. I was like, yeah, this is probably it. Don't know if it's gonna get renewed though.
Yeah, with these new animes, you don't know. It's 50-50 if you get a new season.
Yeah, so I'm waiting
Because,
on a few.
yes, because a lot of them. Yeah, so guys, if you have any like new animes you're into and like waiting on a season two, you might want to just pick up the manga because with a lot of these animes doing the same concept, there's really no guarantee there will be a season two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But moving on to Wise Man's Grandchild, episode
Hmm.
9, The Grandfather, The Magic Gear, and the Engagement Party. Ooh, fucking spoiler.
You knew it was coming though.
Nah, I don't. I didn't even put that together.
I did. Kind of was like, oh, yeah. I mean, because I feel like in that world it's different. Because even what August had a whole fiance, and at that age, I was like, oh, yeah. So they get them married younger and younger.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was like,
So basically, in this episode, in the beginning, Cecilia wants to introduce Shin to her parents, and then they basically say, you know, she is a noble girl, so her being able to date means she needs to be engaged. Are you willing to do that? And Shin says yes, so they get engaged. And then everyone, they go to do real combat training. There's really not much to this episode, guys, but they go to do real combat training, and we find out that everyone can take on a catastrophic demon, a catastrophic class demon. So they all take out a demon in their own time frame, and Shin practices float magic, which he casts upon himself, and he begins to learn how to fly.
Yeah, that one that's interesting too because essentially it's like two different. I think he uses
He
he-
uses float
he's
magic
like
to propel himself in the air and wind magic to push himself.
yeah,
So he's
or
not really.
it's like anti gravity or something. He was trying to say as well. It's like it's anti something or what simple terms be float magic.
So he's not
And so
flying. He's just using two different types of magic to simulate flying.
yeah,
And Ellie, no, Ellie is the fiance. I think May is the sister, wants to learn how to fly, and then one of the classmates is like, I don't think that's a good idea. It's like, why? Your panties are going to be showing.
yeah. I was like, huh? Didn't even think about that one.
Yep, me either. So, Shin and Sicilian sit down with Merlin and Melida, and they explain that, hey, we're engaged. I'm like, well, we saw this coming, but now we have to have a serious conversation with her parents. So let's go. And they decide to reveal that Shin is not actually related to them by blood, and they were scared that if they found that out, that they would not no longer give their approval for the or their consent for the marriage, which everyone was okay with it. They had no reason to worry. So we proceeded with an engagement party in which everyone celebrated Shin and Sicilian's engagement, and at the end, they finally kissed.
Yeah, I did think it was pretty funny how that he was like, oh, how could you think that of me? Or he played it up like it's like I do care or something like that you had that lowly opinion of me.
Yeah,
I was for thinking to be any less than
I
okay to be married for her to be married to Shin.
it was a cute episode. My only complaint about this episode was in that same scene, Shin's gratitude towards Merlin and Melda seemed a little out of place. Like he's already given this speech to Merlin, and I think he may have given the speech to Melida, but like in this specific scene, it didn't make sense for that to happen to me.
Yeah,
But I digress.
yeah. Keep digressing.
I'm gonna keep digressing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, Irby, are you watching anything else at the moment? Because well, I don't really think we have anything else to further discuss.
What am I watching? I was watching. I finished up the 886. Nice show. I enjoyed it. Uh, and I started watching Scarlet Nexus. So that's pretty much like Terminator with other high tech stuff. But yeah,
I
other
was
than
about to
that,
say they
not
have a
really.
game that came out that I was curious about.
Oh, I played it a little bit.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it has a whole bunch of different attacks, and it's free. Had it on my computer.
Oh,
I think you might be able to do one or two players. So I was like, oh yeah, using SideNet to run around and do things.
on a side note, My Hero season 6 came out.
Ain't even watched season 3 yet.
Damn,
Yeah, I just be late.
it's all good, dog. I started Toilet Bound Hanukkah-kun, which I only watched the first episode, but it seems pretty. It seems up your speed. It seems more slice of lifey.
I'm about to get that look see do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll say
I
you
think
need
you'd be
to.
into it. It might
Uh,
it might only watched the first episode. Maybe if you want to watch the first episode and see if you want to add it to your slot, and I won't watch the next one until you decide.
nah, dog, go ahead and watch it.
Eh.
Makes the difference to me. Do as you please, please as you do. But yeah,
Spy Family should be coming out in a bit.
yeah. Today is the. Spooky season starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready for spooky season.
Season 4 of Overlord is done. I actually enjoyed the season. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
This
Well, I'm
it
glad.
took 3 seasons, but I finally enjoyed a season of Overlord.
Yeah, about time it got better. I thought it was supposed to be good off the rip, the way it was hyped up. I was like,
They've
mm.
made Prince of Tennis very very unrealistic. Before, like with sport animes, you gotta decide like, hey, am I gonna get realistic sport or am I gonna get anime sport? And Prince of Tennis, with an exception to a few moves, for the most part, was really realistic. They're out here destroying entire walls with balls now. It was like, all right, we've given into the we've pushed towards the anime side of this sport,
Yeah,
but it's all good. I'm still watching it.
yeah. Oh, and apparently, Spy Family did come out today.
Did it come out today?
Yeah, there's episode 13,
Guys, you're gonna hear me clicking. Hold on.
but they
Yep,
didn't.
Spy Family came out today, 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you, a parakeet? Can I repeat what I say?
Hey man, I do what I do and I do what I do.
You like you didn't believe me. There's no time. But yeah, shoot, I'm gonna watch that later. Another thing I do hate though, on Crunchyroll, how when they say, "Oh, new episode released," necessarily doesn't mean it's a new episode.
Yeah, they could
And the
be talking about the
thing,
dubbed.
yeah, or the Portuguese release, I was like, really?
Yeah,
I
you
was,
should
I
be
was
able to.
excited.
They should separate all their things by language or region or something like that. Like if no one that watches dub or sub, and by dub I mean English dub, is gonna all of a sudden watch the Portuguese version or stuff like that. But
I don't know.
people on Instagram like comparing shit like that. So
Sometimes I watch them in a different language just so I could feel different.
nah, the voices don't line up for me.
Well, I'm not worried about the voices.
I'm worried about the voices.
Yeah, I just look at the read the words. I like the French one's pretty easy. I normally can just follow along. I'm like, oh, so yeah, but yeah, it doesn't look like Spy Family. They're not doesn't look like they're splitting into like season one and season two. It just looks like a continuation. Like they just took a break. I was like, oh, 13's out.
Yeah, a mid season break.
Yeah, so
I'll
I could
probably
have
have
kept
one of
on
those as
rolling.
well.
No, finish the season, then do it.
Well, it's because my second half of the season is the other character. So
But is that really a break if you're still doing stuff?
mm,
I don't know. I'm not sure I would consider it.
we'll see. I don't know. Let's see how it plays out.
Shoot. But yeah, in other words, I do recommend the Gundam Evolution game, kids.
Gundam Evolution. I cannot give the same recommendation.
Yeah, that's just because he didn't like it so much because I was a tad bit better than he was in it.
It just it didn't partake to
Yeah, if it was Luffy, you would have loved it.
my needs. I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, you would have loved. You, but this is Luffy. It's so great.
Nah, anime games aren't always the best.
That's what you
They seem
say.
like they make all of them the same. Like the newer anime games, like My Hero and One Punch Man, are probably basically the same game, just fighting games. They're just,
Hmm.
you know what I mean. Demon Slayer had the opportunity to be a great game, but the movement's restricted and the fighting's very basic. A lot of anime games just seem like cash grabs. Kakarot was like probably one of the best anime games that came out recently.
And they're coming out with some more DLC for that.
Yeah, yep, they did.
I saw it. I was like, "Ooh, I might have to get back into this." But they released Breaker for Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, I don't know if this would be for me."
Which Breaker just seems like anime version of that that one horror game where you get to be the villain trying to kill everyone.
Dead by Daylight or
Yeah,
something.
and
Yeah.
like they had uh Michael Myers, they had Jason and shit like that. So that's what that just seems like. It just seems like anime version of that cash grab.
Yeah, I was like, huh. And I was like, no, I'm not going to download this. But yeah, there's
Which
notable video games coming out.
it's kind of sad because like if you're gonna reskin stuff, like just take Kakarot for instance. Kakarot was one of the best freaking games, and even Xenoverses were kind of fun because they had original story and like it was a 3D battle and shit like that. Jump Force was, I mean, Jump Force was a lot more fun
It
when
was trash.
we were playing each other rather than playing the story.
Trash. Jump Force.
But
Terrible
like
trash.
all you need, like I'm sure they have a lot of budget for these things. Like you just need an open-ish world, like and free movement. Those are like the main two things you should implement in animes because like the like I think what draws people to anime is like it's a free world, a new world. It's exciting. It's all this, and then like you play anime games, it's just like, oh, it's a 2D fighter. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. I hear what you say, saying what you hear.
yes sir.
But yeah, that's about all I got, sir.
Yeah, I got nothing else. It's gonna be a short one, guys.
Real short.
Yep, we might have to find a little more. Well, we're gonna be reading some stuff pretty soon, so
If I can figure out how to read, I get gotta learn how to read.
I got
I
6 days to teach you.
Okay.
All
You're a
right.
good senpai. You can do it.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.